Good afternoon, good morning, good evening from wherever you're joining us. We are very happy to be having this webinar, and I'll be your moderator for the webinar today. So Julia is from Kenya. I work for Seed Savers Network INOFO, and this webinar is organized through INOFO. So for those who don't know INOFO is Intercontinental Network of Organic Farm Organizations. It's a global platform, and the vision for INOFO is to have a world of regenerative and sustainable food systems through uniting organic farmers' voices and being able to represent voices in a global intercontinental level. So that is INOFO, and Seed Savers Network is the Secretariat for INOFO Africa. So INOFO, as I mentioned, it covers the entire world in different continents, and for Africa, where I work in Kenya Seed Savers, we are hosting the INOFO Secretariat. We want to have a conversation on what are some of the financial strategies that are already happening, and just to understand the financial framework, the financial situation for organic farmers in the world. So today we have two speakers who will be speaking to us, and one speaker is from India and another speaker from Kenya. And we also have, I think, people joining from all over the world. We are free and open to engage in the webinar to share experiences from where we are coming from and what is the financial situation. Just to give a background on this topic and on organic farming in general. So I was looking at some statistics on organic farming. So in the world, organic farming has been growing. There is definitely a trend of growth within the continents, where we have an increase of the number of people who are doing production organically. So for instance, in the world, we have Oceanic leading with the number of people doing organic farming, which stands at 53.2 million. Africa is lagging behind because in terms of continental view, Africa is at the tail end in terms of organic production, which stands at 2.7 million producers. But this also has been an increase. And this is data for 2022, 2022. We are in 2024, so this is data up to 2022. So with the increasing trend on organic farming, we are seeing, for instance, in India, we have the biggest number of organic producers at 2.5. So globally, we have a total of 4.5 million organic producers. In terms of continental level, what I was sharing was in terms of the number, the acreage, the hectares of production of organic. So there's definitely a trend in organic farming, which is a plus. And there's a lot of changing dietary preferences in the world where people are, with the changing climate, as we all see, there's that changing trend to be able to have more sustainable ways of farming and get more healthier, nutritious diets and meals. But India is leading in terms of the producers, and we are happy to have a speaker from India who will be sharing the work they are doing in India and what are some of the strategies and efforts in financing organic farmers. I'm happy to see that Uganda is second in terms of organic producers in the world. It has over 0.4 million people who are doing organic production. So that is very much commendable. And to see those trends is really great. In terms of market for organic production, markets are also growing. But now in terms of financing, we want to hear today and to even hear experiences even from South Africa. I see Janet from South Africa is in the call. Thales from Brazil. Maybe we can, as we continue the conversation, we can engage and hear in terms of access to finance for farmers. How is it in our countries? There are definitely several financial challenges. Myself, having a background in finance and banking, I was able to work with farmers in terms of providing loans and such things. But you realize that in terms of how much we were able to give for farming communities compared to the GDP contribution that agriculture provides in relation is very, very disproportional and very limited. And we want to understand why. Definitely, we know like some of the challenges with agriculture sector in terms of the unpredictability and risks associated with financing. There are so many other issues. Of course, when we are talking of smallholder farmers, we are talking of very high costs of transactions with a big number, dealing with groups. So I know today we also have another speaker, and they are operating and how they navigate through the challenges and how that has been going. Definitely with financing, there's very limited effective knowledge on how even farmers themselves and how they can get the funding. So we want to hear all those experiences today. And so without much ado, I want to welcome our first speaker. Our first speaker is Suhadra Kapedi. I hope I'm pronouncing correctly. And she's an organic farmer and a women's rights activist. And she's based in India, a village called Pandutalab in Dewas district. And she has been working for over 30 years now amongst the marginalized communities of Western Madhya Pradesh. And she has been awarded many awards, and one of the awards is Women's Creativity in Rural Life Award 2020. And another award is Babuji Bandrualal a very mouthful award. Was awarded in 2019. It's called Babuji Banwari Memorial Anna Swaraj Award. Our first speaker, Kapedi, she's currently pursuing her PhD. Dr. Nagar Ambakar, MP. Yeah, sorry for the pronunciation, but we are very happy and honored to have you speaking today. Welcome.
Thank you for giving opportunity to speak something about my work. I am Subhadra, as you said. I come from West Madhya Pradesh in India, and I belong from farmer family. I had started my journey in 1988. So now I am based on organic farming. That organic farming I have started in 2015. So my village is Pandutala. It is it is a Devas district in Madhya Pradesh. This area called Eastern Madhya Pradesh. There is a Bhil tribe. With them I am working. And my NGO, my organization name is मध्यांचल जैविक कृषि विकास समिति. It is member of OFI India and INOFO International. So I want to say something about my village areas. Their community, within the community, the women have no social and economic rights is there. So that I want to explore that women, when women want to do something in their farm, she can do. If she want to get married, she can choose her husband. Still, whenever there's some opportunity to do something, women. So that opportunity women can use, and women can do something. First time I to be something mistake. So that is why I will aware you. My mother tongue is Hindi, so that is why this is the difficulties can come. So what I want to say that women have no economically strong. There is no property rights, but culture provides some space to women. That space women can use. What they can use, they can get married of their interest, है ना? And they can do some farming in their land. That land is the name of the husband, but she can acquire some part of the land and she can, whatever she wants, she can experiment there. So that opportunity we are exploring that things. So women are, there is slide, but no one is sharing this slide. Samika was saying that Julia is mute.
Yes.
Is there is a slide, but no one is showing this.
Daniel, can you share the slides?
Sorry about that. It's coming.
Huh? Not visible.
Daniel, can you share the slides? One second. Thank you so much for your to share the slides. 1 second. I think it's coming. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, it's coming. Thank you. Over to you, Kapedi. The slides are up. I hope you can see them. Suhadra?
Yes. It is coming.
Okay.
Slide has come. So, no. Shall I something about this slide? This is our farm. There I grow millets. And next slide. Change it. Please change it. Second slide. Julia, please change it. She has muted. Second slide, just you can show.
Are you able to see the second slide? With the
Yes.
Yeah.
It's talking. This is the second. So
Okay.
what we are doing, we are just growing the seeds and selling it also and spreading it also. That is why many women have motivated and they are trying to trying to chew seeds in their farm. Next. So what I want to say, there is a next slide. Next. Julia, next.
Is this what you want, the basic tasks?
Next.
Okay.
Wait. So there is no land rights, but somehow they have opportunity culturally. So that is why many women have motivated and they have started sowing millets in their farm. Right, these many types of crops there, sorghum, cereal. Wait. So wait, Julia, wait. So sorghum, sesame, groundnut, cereals, pulses, many more seeds they are trying to grow, and they are processing also, and there is no market. So that is why the processing unit now there is no market, but they are trying to spread the seed, not for financially, but they are just giving them to experiment. So that is why many women have motivated and they are trying to organize or make a group as a seed saver. So that is important for us. So that is why we can say that not for financially profitable, but this is the second part there is. So that I will say after some time, after 2 or 3 slides. So I want to read this overview. Creating, there is manure also. Many of the common farmers are putting artificial manure, and that manure NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potash. And there is pesticide. They are the common people are growing common seeds, common grain, common produce, and they are putting pesticide also. and there is a machine, tractor, harvester, and thresher. But in our group, in our community, in our women group, they are growing with the help of the organic manure. They are not dependent on the market for buying the seed and selling the seed, right? So this way they can save their money. They are independent for saving the seeds and growing the producing the grain. So this way they are independent. They can save their money, and for processing they have a traditional traditional system. They can grind there, and first they use that produce for their family, and then rest of the seeds they can sell. they, Easily they can sell in nearby market. So what I want to say, in this way we can independent, we can save our money, and we can preserve that seeds for next year. These seeds comes from earlier, means ancient time. They have a habit to save these the seeds, preserve these seeds, and they have a habit to do farming very well organically. So now they have vanished. So that is why we want to revive that tradition to produce the original seeds or native seeds or indigenous seeds that prevent of our disease. So that way we can save our money. So this is profitable in the healthy health wise. So we can say food. Now, first I want to read this one. Creating cow dung based manure is a difficult task, as there are only few cattle. What is happened? This one, population wise, we are very much. So that is why the many people have created their land as a farm, and they are producing chemical farming. They are producing the grain with the help of common chemical farming, case crop. So there is no grazing area. So that is why they can't keep animals much more. 2 or 3 animals, 4 animals are there for only for some use. So that manure they can put, and that's and a lot of grazing area has vanished, है ना? And composting techniques we have revived. And क्या बोला, eventually, even after putting so much effort, the final production is less than the chemical based agriculture. This is less production, but this is healthy. So that I want to say. After harvesting, the produce has to be transported to the cities, which is a costly affair. So that is why what we do, we sell our produce in nearby market. So this leads to high price of the financial produce. So the market for this grain is the creates where only a niche audience is willing to pay the high price. There are few people they can spend money for the healthy food. So that is why we can't sell to the city. Just we are trying to make our group as a seed seller or a seed maker or seed producer, like that. So next, Julia, is next slide. So that what I want to say, that some opportunity is there, that religious space is providing some opportunity. That is why some few women have started organic agriculture. Next, Julia, next. So women have a habit to preserve their seed in this way. You are looking in this slide. There is a mud pot. There we keep their produce, and organic produce is less. Everyone knows that there is we are growing little. So that is why this type of this style is perfect for the saving, preserving the seeds. Next, Julia. So processing is difficult because women can do, not men. So that is why what we have done, women are, this is the traditional types of processing unit. So this is the hard work. So we cannot process much more millets or any grain. So that is why we process little bit for eating or for a sample. So there is no government is not providing any help. What I want to say is that in chemical farming, government is providing subsidy, but in organic farming, government is not providing any subsidy. So how we will survive? So that is why we can do very small area of for the organic farming. So if you want to accelerate, if you want to excel, if you want to spread, then there should be a needed subsidy, MSP like that. So this is the difficult to convince the government that there is chemical farming. Chemical farming, government is providing subsidy, MSP, and the chemical farming produce much more high yield comes, but in organic farming yield does not come much. So onion takes hard work. So both sides we are suffering. So if government wants to spread this thing, organic farming, then there is definitely government have to help. So next, this is for grinding flour. We cannot grind wheat, but we can grind sorghum and corn and bajra and millets also. So this is a traditional designed by this community, and this is today this is also established. This today is this system is using for the processing of the grinding or grinding flour sorghum. Next. So what I want to say, subsidy intensives that I have explained, it is imperative for the government to provide separate minimum support price, MSP, for organically produced grain. This will encourage farmer to turn organic, and it will protect the farmers against potential losses. For example, environmental factors and hail storms and transportation issues, etc. That I have explained earlier. So there is needed. But what I want to say next, Julia, next. If women have a knowledge about the indigenous seeds, processing, selling, growing, and preserving. So that knowledge we are trying to transfer to other women. So that is why it may be possible to, we can survive after some time. Now we are facing difficulties, but it is a sustainable system. So that means we will survive, but there is needed some help from the other side. So what I want to say, if we grow organically, that means there is a microorganism. There is a microorganism, nature. They are in nature. So microorganism, they will play important role for this. And if we grow organically produced, then that means it will help to our health. Means we will eat healthy food. It will provide healthy immunity, and immunity provides us prevent disease. So that is why this is a sustainable. So that is why we are trying to spread all over our country, and women are perfect for this organic farming because women have a lots of knowledge to produce. As you know that women have a productive ability, means they can earlier what had happened? When ancient time, when settlement had been started, that time women have saved and they have used their selected seed for settlement, agriculture settlement. So that is why, and when Harit Kranti, na, इसको क्या बोलते हैं, Harit Kranti को? हाँ, Harit Kranti, हाँ, Green Revolution came, and it has vanished our knowledge, women's knowledge. So that knowledge we want to revive. And now the climate has been changed, and nowadays there is when we have a needed water, there is no rain. When we have a hot, there is no hot. So that is happening. So farmers and everyone is observing, everyone is thinking about that, but they are not trying to fight with the climate change. And if we are trying to do this in a sustainable level, so this means this is a unique. So we will try, and now there is some needed help, but we will survive. So what I want to say that women are perfect for the urban organic farming, and they will take a chance. There will be they will get opportunity to produce, use their ability, use their knowledge, and once again they will get their recognition in future. So that is my aim. So Julia, next slide. Julia, next slide. This is the Bhil tribe women. There is also very old picture is there. But what I want to say, culture is important for the everyone, and culture comes with food, and food comes with the culture. Food and culture is together as a two sister, like that. So without culture we can't survive, without organic food we can't survive. So this is a survival of the human being if we eat organic food. So Julia, what I have said that is not grammatically correct, but you understand, and please consider. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. Suhadra from India. Thank you so much for sharing the work you're doing in India. It was amazing to see the nice photo in seed conservation and in organic farming. We've seen some of the key strategies that women are doing to be able to even minimize their cost of production, be able to even have innovations on value addition, using their own local ways and means. So that was really interesting. Thank you so much, Suhadra. I don't know whether there's any questions to our speaker. As questions come, today is World Food Day, 16th of October, which is the World Food Day. And this year's theme, I want us to reflect just briefly on this year's theme on World Food Day. So the theme this year is right to food for a better life and a better future. We can, and what are some of the efforts going on around the world in different places? So in terms of World Food Day, and maybe just to share some of the updates from around the world, like for Kenya, for instance, I was looking at some statistics in terms of the food losses that is happening around the world. We cannot ignore what is, I think it's the statistics I had were over, is it one? Let me just confirm. but I'm welcoming more people to share their reflections on this year's theme. And of course, as we talk about right to food, the women mostly are at the center of food, and most of the time, issues of rights come in where, of course, from even the first speaker, in terms of the women farming and women involvement, they cut across most of the parts of the world. In terms of even the land, the right to own land cuts across for most women across the world in terms of who owns land, who controls land, and who cultivates the food, who nurtures the food, and who gets the money after the end of the day for after market access. So these are some of the issues around right to food. And even when we talk of market, and generally for farmers generally, I think there's also an issue of point of ownership. Most of the time in agriculture, I think when maybe there's an aggregation and farmers are bringing their produce, there's definitely an issue of right where we have farmers having to be paid after sorting, and a lot of food loss and waste is put on the side. So if they produce like 100 kgs of something, they get to be paid maybe 60 kgs. They are told 40 kgs had a problem, they did not meet the standards. That is also another right around food, and it's something we cannot ignore. And also, as people in the space, as people who could also be operating aggregators, we have farmers with the rights to even the work that has gone to producing a whole 100 kgs, and then you only pay maybe 60 kgs of that. I think in most other businesses, the point of ownership produce, but for farming, I think with some of the discussions and studies we've seen, the ownership of food and transfer of food happens after sorting, and that is also an issue we need to check. But that was just a digression to just mention the World Food Day, and it's important to household level, to the work we are doing from different countries. How do we ensure the people around us, ourselves, we have the right to access nutritious food that is affordable, and also in terms of production, we are producing in sustainable ways to ensure that there's dignity for everyone. So I think that is mainly the aim for this year's theme, and it's very interesting theme. I see a comment from Janet from South Africa. Forming committed direct consumer group, bring the consumer into the production understanding, build household to household relationship. Thank you for community supported agriculture, and it's a strategy that for organic farmers they can employ, where we have consumers supporting the farming, and in case even of changes in climate, they are able to even offset some of the losses that farmers may experience, and they become committed part of the consumer. So I think this is a really nice strategy for navigating the agriculture space and the organic space. So thank you so much for that comment, Grace. And now we shall move swiftly to hear some of the experience in Kenya. We have a second speaker. If I could request to please, Paris, to open your video. So our second speaker comes from Kenya, and I will briefly introduce her as she opens her video. Feel free to engage in the chats. I see more. Paris, are you able to have your video on? So we've seen innovative approaches in India of how financial challenges, the low investments from government in terms of we've had conventional ways of farming and not organic farming, and so there's definitely challenges in terms of investment on that line, but we've seen very innovative strategies on how farmers are navigating those challenges. And now we want to hear from cooperative, that is SACCO. The second speaker is Paris Kamau. Paris, we are still not able to see, have your video on.
Julia, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but I can't see you. You are muted. Have your video on. Okay, since there's a challenge with having the video on, to proceed like that. So Paris, confirm you can hear.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right.
So Paris Kamau, I think you should, so that will be introducing the second speaker. So Paris Kamau is a dedicated woman leader, has over a decade of experience in community development, community engagement. Paris is very passionate about women's economic growth and also just to see. So she's also the chairperson of the Seed Savers Women Sessions. And today, Paris will be sharing with us some of the work she has been doing with the circle. Over to you, Paris. Well,
Yeah. I hope you can hear me clearly.
we wish we can see you.
I don't know what is happening here. The video is stopped. I don't know by who, whether it's from your side or from my side.
Okay. We can see you now. Please unmute. Sorry, Paris. Please unmute and unmuted. So please open the video and remain unmuted. Yes, we. Paris, please unmute.
I think, Julia, you are doing it from your side.
Yeah, we can see.
You can
hear you. Yeah, thank you.
All right. You have done a very good introduction of myself. I don't need to repeat. But practicing at small scale farming, and I serve as a chairperson for Silver Women Credit and Saving Cooperative. We are based in Gilgil. Gilgil is a small town in Nakuru County. We are from Kenya. I'm speaking on behalf of 1,500 women who we are doing saving and credit. No other business in our circle, it is saving and credit. So we came together in the year 2021 when we realized there's a gap. No one is taking care of women in agriculture, and then we came up with an idea that we can start a saving and credit cooperative where we as women, we can do it formally because we realized the farthest we could go is table banking, and in terms of saving, it is merry-go-round and table banking. So we decided, a group of Dutch women, we decided we can start something that we can own and then have our financial cater for our financial problems.
Yeah, sorry, we had lost you a moment, Paris. Please continue. You are muted. You could also maybe try to use without earphones.
I think earphone is the best.
Where
Okay. All right.
Have realized female farmers are likely to live in poverty because they are not exposed to new opportunities, and it is
Sorry, Paris. Paris, you're muted.
I think you lost her. Is there any chance to summarize her message?
I think she's still on the call. Please unmute, Paris. Okay.
Julia,
Seems like we lost Paris.
Can you summarize the message of Paris? Do you know?
Okay. I could try as she comes, maybe.
Or maybe we can also open the floor for people to share their stories about financial securities and resilience system. Maybe if Janet or anybody else has to say something, can maybe invite the audience until we figure it out.
Thank you. Yeah. So Paris, as you try to come back, we can have any comments, any contributions on the topic about strategies for women financial resilience in organic farming. And I see Janet wants to add something. Yes, please.
Thank you very much. It's always inspiring to be part of a group of women initiatives, of which I am part of a group in South Africa, in the southern part of South Africa. And that's why I put the comment in about embracing consumers into our actual activities as farmers, of creating a a hub where farmers and consumers can actually meet on a weekly basis. And that for us has been a big support for reducing waste in our production system, because we get a better idea of what our consumers are wanting, because we are working directly with the consumers. So yeah, it's not exactly like a community supported agriculture. So we're still doing product presentation in it looks like a retail space, but because we are interacting on a weekly basis with our consumers, 5 to 7 days a week, we get a good idea or an opportunity to actually move the product that is produced in our area. And we work within a 20-kilometer radius. So the farmers are not competing with each other. They're actually supporting each other to make sure that there is a big enough basket, or an interesting enough basket, for the consumer to come into the hubs. So that's just a little bit of, what we are engaging with, in our small community. And we have 3 such hubs that are set up. It is in a fairly, and I'm going to put it in parentheses and brackets, it is in an upmarket area. So it does present good opportunity to make sales. But having said that, it means that, it gives us a pull from the consumer in terms of our production, whatever we produce.
Wow. That is such an amazing initiative for sure. And I think we could implement such initiatives. I see a comment from Thales. Do you want to voice it out, Thales?
Hello, good morning from Brazil. I just wrote the question for our speaker one, Subhadra, and I would like to know if you have any public policies in India focused on women on agriculture, or mainly specific on organic agroecological agriculture. Thank you.
Thank you, Thales. Subhadra, are you there?
So there in India, there is no public policy for organic farming. If there is, if maybe there, but I don't know. So just we are taking initiative to do this. So that is why I didn't know. I didn't ask anyone to there is a public policy or not. I don't know. Maybe there. But next time, if there is available, government is providing or not. But just we have initiated these things, no? Organic farming. Just we have started. This is not around 9 years. We are trying to do organic farming. So I will ask. I will find out that there is a public policy or not.
Thank you. I see Caro. Caro, you want to add on that?
No, I appreciate the comment. I also want to ask another question for Janet. She said something about 20 kilometers range. Is it enough to make a livelihood for 20 kilometers of consumers being there for you as a farmer?
That is what we are actually busy working on in terms of our figures, and that's a very broad. Is it enough money to survive, to live on? So what we are finding is the product selection that a farmer produces needs to be well balanced in terms of. So there's a variety that can give sort of resilience. If one product doesn't work, you've got another product range that will actually slip into the position of it. And that is why a group of farmers working together, supporting each other in the product basket. So let me just look at vegetables specifically, that we all have a mixture of vegetables so that we always know that there will be carrots, for argument's sake, available in the hubs for the consumers, because we know that consumers want carrots every week. So we build a resilience with a group of farmers, so we're able to present the product basket. So 20-kilometer radius, very much so. And it just depends on what your expenses on the farm actually are.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, Janet. And of course, because it's a maybe more like a high end, you're able to fetch better prices, maybe, and be able to offset some of the production costs.
So that we do get higher prices, because actually the consumer sets the price for us. So that is the relationship that we have with our consumer, is encouraging them to be part of the setting of the price. But then if they set the price as well, they're also telling us how they want the product presented. And that makes it very helpful for us on the farms when we're preparing to send our product to market. We're not guessing what the consumer wants. We actually know before we leave the farm what the consumer wants. And that definitely helps with the minimizing of waste. Having said that, we also have a kitchen facility within the communities that take any of the surplus products and turn it into something, which again, the consumer is prepared to have the uptake on. They're prepared to buy it.
Wow.
This is very good. And then maybe if Paris, if you are here, can you tell us if you have funding mechanisms, financial mechanisms to support this kind of efforts? If you can connect.
Thank you so much, Janet, for sharing that experience with us. I think it's a very innovative way that a group of you kindly, maybe, are you able to come back?
Yes, I'm back.
Yes. All right. Yeah, please.
All right. I was saying, before I got disconnected, I was saying we came up with the idea to register a cooperative for female women who are practicing small-scale farming, so that we can be able to finance ourselves, and the financial product that we have matches our needs. So the moment we started, we didn't have any other business. The business was to save in order the small amount that we can be able to raise, although we have monthly minimum contribution. And then after a period of staying the cooperative, you are able or you mature to get your first loan. Our loan, I would say, when you join the cooperative, you are able to get a cheap loan. And our loans, we offer them, they have no collateral. You are able to get low interest rates. And you can also, even if you are servicing a long-term loan, you can be able to get an emergency loan. So when we started, that was the business, and we have maintained that until today. We have been in existence for the last 3 years. And for the last 2 years, we have been giving loans in terms of cash. And there are members who doesn't want to get the cash, so we buy them assets. So the moment you come to us, you know very
Paris, please, Paris, please unmute.
Julia, can you summarize what Paris?
Okay, so I think what Paris was saying is loans in terms of assets. So if you can see, they're able to get a water tank for farming, and she mentioned it's without any collateral. I think they also give assets in form of livestock, like what you can see, a goat, more like an asset rather than cash if a farmer needs that. So I think in summary, this is a circle, a women circle started by 30 women. They started with contributing. They were able now to be able to start lending. And I think they received an award here. Maybe Paris, if you're able to talk about the award, and then we can hear questions, any questions from the participants. Paris, you're muted. All right.
Yes. There we did an award 2 months ago for the best, for the second best managed women circle in the region. And also we received 2 awards, and the other one was for the second best managed, the best for the office organization in the region as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Paris, and for sharing the work you're doing with the Seed Savers Women Circle. We heard it doesn't have any collateral. I don't know if we have any questions from the participants on the second speaker's presentation. Any questions, any comments, we can have them on the chat. So thank you so much, Paris. I think as Seed Savers Network, farmers from the network have really benefited from the circle. We work closely with the circle, and we have seen women getting water tanks for their farming, for their kitchen garden. They're able now to supply surplus vegetables to the market, organically grown. So I think it's a really great initiative. Any questions to the speaker? Any comments? All right. So if there's none, I want to open the floor to any other comments that we want to share around the same topic. Your experiences in terms of getting loans or financing. I don't know, maybe Janet from South Africa, whether there's we have farmers getting loans easily for their farms. What are the requirements for that kind of financing? Maybe you can share a bit. We can also hear from Brazil, Thales, as a farmer, whether you are able to secure a loan. I see a comment from Elizabeth. I don't know whether, Elizabeth, we could give you an opportunity to voice your comment. I hope you've not left yet. We can just hear your voice before you leave.
Hi, everyone. I was just commenting on the recent inputs, which I think were very interesting, especially the idea of the communities of consumption and yeah, I think as it was said before, I think it is often helpful to have a good connection to urban markets to realize that, and at the same time, which is already already used, it's also helpful pooling resources with other farmers as well on the supply side as on the input side. So yeah, just wanted to thank you all for the very interesting webinar, and yeah, keep up the good work.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Elizabeth. Where were you joining from, please, if you don't mind?
I'm joining from Germany.
Okay. Thank you so much for that comment, for sharing, and we appreciate the comment. I see another comment from Thales. Could you tell us more about that public policy in Brazil? How does it promote access to finance?
Yes, quickly sharing here. We have this public policy. It comes from the federal government, so it's national level. Even if the province or the states or municipalities, they want to do something different, they can't because it's from federal level, and the government allocates a budget to farmers to access finance, loans on a very, very low rate, and which is very interesting because if we go to normal banks or even cooperatives, the interested rate is quite high. So, for example, here in Brazil, if I get a loan in a bank, I pay like 1.5% a month. And from this program, we pay like 3 to 4% a year, which is a huge difference. And they have different lines of credits. So they have one for agroecology, and they have one for agroforestry. They have also one, I say they, but we as a country. So we also have another one for women. If you are a woman and a farmer, small scale, you can access these funds for paying seeds, inputs, or machinery, or to build infrastructure on your farm. There are different lines that you can use, and normally they give the first year without payment. So you have 1 year to breathe, to set up your business or your farm, and then after this year you start paying the loan. So, and this is very, very helpful for us when we want to use it. Myself, I'm a man, but even if for the women, I've used here on my farm to build my small agro industry where I dry my mushrooms and other things. If I didn't access this credit, I would not be able to start it. So after doing that and working on my processing, I had money to pay back and also to keep building my living. So the importance and the strength of the public policies on our perspective. And we know we are farmers, it's very hard to have time to do this advocacy work. That's why it's very important. We have partnerships with organizations like Seed Savers Network, like INOFO, and like many others that they are working on advocacy on this kind of political incidents that is needed. But we as a farmers, it's very hard to be there daily. So yeah, quickly share. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Thales. I think there's so much learning and borrowing we can have from that policy, because I think for the Kenyan case, I don't think we can imagine to be able to have such from the government. So it's something as people working in advocacy, we can be able to have policy recommendations around where we can have support for farmers in such a way where even you have a whole 1 year of grace period to be able to repay after the 1 year. So I think that is very, very commendable. But I also feel like government maybe may have some limited resources. So also partners could be able to join together with government and be able to make this happen. I don't know any other policy experience in terms of policy instruments that are favoring financing in other countries that we want to share. We shall be closing our session shortly in a few minutes, so we can have final comments from the participants as we come to the close of our webinar. Yes, Janet.
So we do have policy that doesn't necessarily support organic farmers, but does support the development of entrepreneurship or business access. And there's training on some of the government departments that actually support and train a farmer in terms of how to gain access to finances. And that and it's all relative to the amount of finance you are able to afford to repay. So you've got to understand your business case study, and that is a gap that farmers need support in terms of understanding how to approach funding. And be it a government funder, or be it a private funder, or be it a consumer that decides that they would like to support a farmer group, we need to know how to present our business case studies too. And I think as farmer groups in a group, there generally is one or two members of the group that's stronger in actually putting this case study together. So we learn as we present to actual funders. It's been our single biggest restriction in our development in the last 2 years is actually finding funding access, even from consumers, because we are so disjointed in our supply chains, in our headspace, that it's like you hand it over to the next person, to the next person, the next person. We don't really know what happens in this long supply chain unless we work very locally focused. And it means that there's a lack of financial information available to us all. There's no transparency. So working in the groups, we have found that we share our skills and resources together to talk about this awkward conversation about the money transaction in relation to the product that we are transacting. So it's a big topic of conversation in local economies.
Thank you, Janet. And so I think my key takeaways from the webinar has been that working in group, organizing ourselves as organic farmers in groups, definitely gives us some bargaining power, but doesn't always work without some innovation, some strategies to be able to maneuver the challenges, like that was shared from India, some of the innovations and strategies they use to even, and also from South Africa, how they reduce their movement by having those relationships with customers, with consumers. Also, we within the circles, how they can even get asset financing by having tanks and even other forms of assets to be able to propel their organic farming. So I want to thank all of us that were able to join the webinar. And in a very special way, I want to thank the two speakers that were able to share with us, with a few hiccups here and there, but we were able to hear some of the success initiatives and strategies. So thank you so much, our speakers. And we can be able to have this conversation. I think it's a very wide conversation on finance, and it can take many different forms. We've not even talked about particularly on women issues around finance access. So thank you so much. I think we shall be able to organize more webinars in the future, maybe in line with the topic, might be more specific rather than general as it was. So thank you to all, and we've come to the end of our webinar, and bye for now. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time and participation in today's webinar. We hope you found the session both informative and valuable. For further inquiries, partnership opportunities, or to learn more about becoming a member of the Intercontinental Network of Organic Farmers Organizations, we encourage you to visit our website. You can also stay updated on our latest news and upcoming events by following us on